I am. The sounds that are around me are always on the tape. Yesterday there were a lot of sounds. Today there are a lot of sounds. There are always sounds. I would say that in my experience of life, my sound is more attempted to be shut down by people than other sounds. It's a subjective reality, but it's what I experience. People who talk too much, their sound is dominant. It's always around. People who make a lot of noise are dominant. Their sound is all around. A social environment, a social group, the loudest person is the one who dominates the environment, convincing everybody through their loudness or through the speed of their speaking that they should be in charge of the meeting or the engagement or the environment or the gathering. I don't agree. If people gather together, one of the things that they should be good at is all being quiet together. That is one of the highlights and the most important aspects of being a good leader, let us say. Their ability to be quiet, their ability to listen. It's not their ability to talk and talk a lot and talk quickly. I see almost all those beings who claim to be leaders and want to be leaders and push to be leaders and advertise to be leaders, to be those who are the most valuable, those who are the noisiest, those who listen the least, those who are incapable of quietness. They rationalize this behavior by the fact that they say they have a lot to communicate. I have a lot to communicate, but I don't walk in and make a big mess in environments of social environments. I even, in the middle of a social environment, will take a very quiet behavior with everybody. Because for the most part, I experience that everybody believes they have tons to say, and so they talk too much. I was at a social gathering, and as I've said, I'm around a lot of young beings lately, people who are in their 20s, very aggressive in their pushing their talents and skills. Pushing their belief that they can teach you how to voice activate. Pushing their belief that they can lead kirtans. Pushing their belief that they are yoga instructors. Pushing their belief that they will lead you to nirvana. And I sit quietly listening to them, wondering at the same time how it's possible for them to have such hubris at such a young age. Maybe they do, maybe they can lead others to nirvana, maybe they can do all this stuff. at their age, and most of their ages, I was like, wow, this world is bizarre. All these racist and horrible people in charge of things. All these prejudice and judgmental and villainous, religious, proselytizers in charge of everything. How did this happen? How is this the case here? So I was not able to go, oh, yes, I can teach you this and that. I still can't say that. For somebody to be a student of mine, they have to already have a certain amount of ability, talent, and wisdom, as well as the aggressiveness to demand that I teach them. The sweetie, in a sense, did that. Otherwise, I'm not interested. I don't teach beginning students. I don't teach beginners. I don't teach people who, for a moment, think they have reached something or are doing this. And I teach those who really are committed and devoted, and thus they recognize devotion and commitment in me. I have no idea where I started to go with this. My intent was to speak about prayformance, to really start digging into some of the things that I talk about. Droshi, prayformance, fine energy, I am. These are some of my main topics. They're very important to me. Nobody ever asks me what they are. They assume they understand what prayformance is. They assume because the word pray has context in religion. But I do not pray the way people who are involved in religion pray. Those who are involved in religion do it in a way that is aligned with some organization, some overseer, some controller. I don't. My prayformance is based on I am. It is based on devotion, commitment, and full expression. One can say, I can say, that is all, but it isn't all. There's dying well. In dying well is all my morality. It is in dying well, in truly meditating upon what dying is, that one can see that in life one is going and will be and is moral. One treats those around with immense kindness and exactly the way one would want to be treated. So prayformance is a very, very complicated word. I cannot quickly just say, oh, it's this or that. Even for me, it moves, it transitions, it changes, it morphs. The only truth that I know in prayformance is I am. From that point comes other things. For instance, I have turned this discourse into a type of prayformance, into a type of sermon, into a type of lecture. I don't know if it's for anybody, or anybody's watching, or anybody's listening, or anybody's paying attention, or anybody understands, or anybody is tolerant of it. It's for me, because by doing this, I crystallize my ideas. I crystallize my understanding. I crystallize my I am. Yes, pray is the first part of the phrase. It's the first syllable of the word. For is the second syllable. Pray for. And mence is the third syllable. So prayformance, 3 syllables. 3 is a very important number for me. The Tao is a 3. Prayformance. As I said once, it used to be prayerformance. I used to have it like that. But that was more me imitating something. Since I started using it, it's become very trendy in spiritual groups. I call them faux spiritual groups. That is FAUX spiritual groups. I call them that because I only see them as materialist, trying to make money on somebody. True spirituality has nothing to do with materialism. Materialism is perhaps a tool for being safe, for having a temple, for having food. But in the bottom, all of that means nothing. Because when one dies, one takes nothing of material with you. Nothing at all. Not the body, which we are so attached to. I'm so attached to it myself. I work out all the time. I am so attached to my body. I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, I might be sort of cute. Oh, my hair. Wow, look at how I can grow my hair so differently from people. Oh, my outfit's cute. I'm all pink. But I do so with an almost neutral interest. Because I know that all of this is gone. It has nothing to do with me, with that I am. It has to do with the reality that my I am is perceiving. So, I call them faux spiritual because they're so dominated by their advertising and their money making and their material wealth. I do my prayformance freely. I do it free from my heart, and I do it freely for those around. I ask for nothing from you. I ask for nothing from anybody. I receive whatever is necessary, and that is all. And that has always been how it's been. So my prayformance is a free offering. It is a free expression of beingness, a free expression of my being duty, a free expression. That is the definition of spirit. The spirit is free. It's not connected to the body. The body leaves the spirit escapes and is free. This is true. I am. So, around the prayformance, around the ceremony of prayforming, I assemble several tools, let's say. And why do I do those? I do them because they remind me of I am. They remind me of my senses. They remind me so that I can be always conscious. And that is important. In prayforming, I need to be conscious. I am devoted, I am committed, I am fully present. I burn incense so that the senses open. The sense of olfactory awareness is open. I burn it so that I smell that scent and I am knowing that I am in prayformance. I burn a candle because the light of the candle is very similar to that light of I am. It flutters. It is fully energetic. It is that which is energetic emanations of the wax and the wick. Very, very parallel to my own I am, to my own flame. The illness that attacked the sweetie is perhaps trying to get into me. I can't really tell. It's hard to know what is really happening. You just have to allow it to take its course. I do feel tired. I do have a certain amount of congestion. I'm sneezing every once in a while. I'm coughing slightly. But it's nothing like what the sweetie expressed in her illness. So I don't know what's going on. Is my body doing full battle against it? Is that the tiredness I feel? Perhaps. So when I really accepted the word prayformance and really took it on as something to represent the gift that I give in my singing, in my playing, in my perambulations around the world. It also coalesced an understanding I have about me and my work and my being duty. I can say that it really came into fruition in around and before 9/11. It came into fruition around the time that I met Bob Laff. I could almost say that he helped coalesce it. He recognized me, so he helped the coalescence. Since then, which is more than, let us see that it's more than 20 years now. And I sit at a table with all these young beings who are talking about life coaching people and voice activation and hypnotherapy, teaching them people Reiki, how to do all these things in an esoterica kind of spiritual, faux spiritual way. It's difficult for me to take them seriously. It's difficult for me to sit and listen to them and take them seriously. I take it as a practice, though. I take it as a practice of listening and surrendering to ignorance, surrendering to my ignorance, and seeing if there is something that I can learn. It has always been my way. It will always be my way. So prayformance and being at a table with these beings and having them speak so forwardly and so advertisingly about their life coaching, etc. And at the same time having been doing prayformance for longer than they have been alive is interesting for me. They never ask me any questions. They never inquire into what I do and how I do it. They kind of see me as something hanging around, I guess. I'm not really quite sure. It's true about performers, too. I have performers around me who are in their 20s. They're doing many things that are inept. I do not give people advice. I do not step in and just tell them what to do. I allow them to recognize in my abilities, in who I am, that I would have the information that they need to be better at what they do. But they don't ask me. They don't seek me for that. And I surrender to that. I surrender to ignorance. Am I somebody who is worthy of that teaching and that inquiry? Perhaps and perhaps not. I do know that in the prayformance, I can stand in the middle of a square and capture the attention of the entire square. And all of those beings who are sitting at the table making a big noise about what they think they can do cannot do that. What does that mean? Does that mean anything? Maybe it doesn't. I do know one thing. I am fully activated and I am a fully expressive being.